Kamusta yo fam, Yowawerts here, and in this tutorial, I'll show you how I crafted the Benton Carnitrix complete with glowing effects and mechanical tentacles. Stick around and let's get started. Before we start crafting, let's cut out the template. You can download this for free using the link in the description. And since I'm making this template available at no cost, I'd really appreciate it if you could support the channel by leaving a like, dropping a comment, and subscribing to the channel. Every bit of support helps keep these projects going. Now, for the main structure of the Carnitrix, I'm using 1.5 cm thick EVA foam. But if you don't have EVA foam, don't worry. Cardboard is a great alternative. Next, I cut out the side pieces, making sure they fit my wrist perfectly. To maintain the watch shape, I gently bent the foam like this. But for a cleaner and more precise curve, I used a heat gun to shape the EVA foam. Just a heads up, handle it with care and wear gloves to avoid burns. Using contact cement, I secured the ends of the watch for a strong and lasting hold. When working with contact cement or super glue, always wear a mask to avoid inhaling the fumes. They can be very irritating, especially when applied to EVA foam. To take this build to the next level, I'll be incorporating an LED light. If you remember my Spider-Man Omnitrix, I made the mistake of permanently gluing the light, making it impossible to change the batteries. This time, I'm gonna fix that. The puck light will be removable, so we're only gluing its bottom part. For the borders, I traced the outer edge of this piece from the template onto a 0.5 mm thin EVA foam and cut it out. Art takes time. This part takes patience, so take your time and enjoy the process. Now, to hide the seams on this part and make it look neater, I cut out a circle on an EVA foam. Next, I cut a strip of EVA foam and glued it around the main body. The ends of this strip are where we'll attach the two bottom pieces later. The watch dial needs to be sturdy, so I'm using chipboard. First, I glued the template cutout onto the board and carefully trace it with cutting knife. Next, I bent the piece into shape and glued it onto the circular base. Then, I cut a thin cardboard strip to create a ring piece and glued it inside the watch frame. Now for the signature green glow, I used a translucent sheet from a plastic envelope. To keep it in place, I cut another cardboard ring and secured it onto this piece. The platform for the two side buttons were then made from small cardboard chips. I then glued these onto the ends of the strip we added earlier. For the light indicators on the dial and buttons, I used hot glue to create small dome-like shapes. Now let's make the mechanical tentacles. This was honestly the trickiest part for me. First, I tried using EVA foam alone, but contact cement didn't hold the edges well. Then I tested fuzzy wire, but the seams were too visible and it didn't have the rounded look I wanted. Thankfully, I found these old cable wires from my broken microphone. I used contact cement on all areas and carefully rolled the wire. Finally, the results was much cleaner with fewer visible seams. For the claw-like pieces, I made this ring piece from EVA foam, made 3 slits at the top, and inserted 3 blades. Fun fact, I was actually watching Spider-Man No Way Home when making this, and I think Dr. Octopus might have influenced the design of it. I realize now this piece ended up larger than originally planned, but I still think it looks cool. Now to add the mechanical details, I wrap the tentacles with masking tape like so. Then I punch 2 holes into the watch where the tentacles will be attached later. Lastly, I cut out an additional EVA foam piece and glued it over this section. We're almost done. Now it's time to paint. I started by painting the main watch body gray. The same color was applied to the watch frame. For the mechanical tentacles, I painted the line gaps gray and the spaces in between a deep metallic silver. The watch borders and buttons were also painted in the same dark silver for a more cohesive look. While waiting for the paint to dry, I worked on the final details. I cut out these black strips to complete the watch interface. To make the teeth-like spikes, I started by cutting out a circular piece of paper and slicing it in half. I then rolled each half into a cone shape, securing it in place. Then, I filled the cones with hot glue and let them dry completely. Once hardened, I trimmed them at an angle before painting them in a tarnished silver. Once everything had dried, it was now time for the assembly. I began by cutting a small EVA foam circle and carefully attaching the 4 bottom pieces on top. To secure the watch frame, I applied hot glue along the inner edges and fixed it onto the LED puck light, making sure it was well aligned. Finally, I assembled the remaining parts using super glue. Before I show you the final result, I want to give a huge shout out to these incredible creators who shared their DIY projects with us. Now, if you'd like your craft to be featured too, feel free to send me a photo on Instagram at Yowawerts. Also, special thanks to those people who inspired me to create this Ben 10 Carnitrix. If you got more Ben 10 watch ideas, drop them in the comments and I'll see what I can do. And of course, a massive thank you to you for making it this far into the video. Now, here's my Ben 10 Carnitrix. Enjoy!
This is the moment we waited for. Everything you want is right here. We gon' give them what they came for. We gon' take it up from last year. Shoot on my shot, boy, I'm long range. Me and the team on the same thing. Stayed down, never switched up.